I got my 1 day of vacation here beginning, and see if I can get anybody in here to talk with. If I look sleepy-eyed because I drove last night. Probably ought to put my glasses on so I don't look so baggy-eyed this morning. I got my hour and a half of sleep, and I'm back at it again. Sitting in, I feel better though. I'm sitting here on my deck of our condo here at Hilton Head, South Carolina, and got a nice. Well, we're at Hilton Head Beach and Tennis, and I'll show you. And there's the tennis part. We overlook the tennis courts and on the tennis villa, and we enjoy that. It's a nice, beautiful day out today. A little warm, but what do you expect? Nice warm day. I guess it's in the upper 80s, lower 90s right now. But we have had an interesting week. Hopefully we can get a couple of guys on the chat, and we'll talk a little bit. We're enjoying ourselves. We're going to get ready to go out with the family and go to one of my favorite restaurants. I like Jim and Nick's, which a lot of people would be going to seafood and everything down here. I'm not a seafood fanatic. One reason, I don't know if I've ever explained this, one reason I'm not much for seafood or big into seafood, my grandfather used to own a restaurant. He used to own a fish camp. And that's one reason that I'm not a seafood fanatic like a lot of people would be when they're at the beach. We go down and we eat at Crazy Crab and Hudson's and a few others. I think there's an oyster bar over here that we eat at sometimes too. But as a general rule, I'm not a big fish eater, so I don't get into eating fresh fish or the food, the fish camp food or whatever you want to call it, too much seafood. Now I know that sounds kind of odd when you're at the beach, but that's just the way it is. I don't know what that noise is. We got some sort of animal making a noise here. I don't know if that's the squirrel. I know we got a squirrel that jumps off the back of the deck here. I don't know if that was a squirrel making a noise or some sort of bird. But you know that's the way it is right now. I'm not like I said, I'm not a big seafood guy. But we're going to go to Jim and Nick's. My wife, my son, my daughter-in-law, and grandson. We're going to take off and go eat that in a little bit. Hopefully, I won't be driving anymore down here in the near future. I've got a couple of people down here wanting to start working for us. I've had some gentlemen that hit me up for a driving job while I was down here driving, and hopefully that scenario will solve itself. We're looking to expand. We hope we can get 4 or 5 trucks owned down here, and that'll balance sort of what we've done. We have sold off 5 trucks in the Greensboro area over the past few weeks, and we sold the routes. We kept the trucks, sold the routes, and we're going to try to kind of balance that out with putting the same amount of trucks and drivers, maybe even a few more here in the Savannah area. That's our goal anyway. It may not work out exactly that way, but either way, we have been able to do that, and we're going to be able to take some of that investment from what we sold and move that over to either the trucks or my Napa store or whatever part we need to do. we we're freeing up some cash, uh, and that helps a good bit. I mean, it's always good to have a little extra cash on hand, and this way, uh, if we do that, I think it'll help us tremendously. We're getting a few people in here. I hope we can get some people to chat and see some of the regular chatters that we get. Uh, I don't know if they're out and about on this Saturday morning and who's doing what, but hopefully we can get a few that we can chat with and converse. I like doing that. Like I said, it's a beautiful day down here in Hilton Head, South Carolina. I can't complain about that at all. I wish I had been able to take advantage of some of the other days, but work comes first, work then pleasure. So I've been able to. I was on live this morning. Talked to a couple of people, and I was able to. I did that yesterday afternoon. We had a good many people on. I chatted with a good many yesterday afternoon as I was going to work for my last day of work last night. We got out there and worked and drove. Hey, good morning, Big Daddy Pat. Yeah, it's always good to have a little extra cash on hand, and hopefully that's what we're going to be able to do. And by selling off those routes and then kind of balancing and putting some of that money towards other things we're wanting to do. We've done a lot of, if you've noticed my videos or whatever, you've seen we've done a lot of remodeling to the Napa store. So I have gone, I don't know what, that must be a bird or something. I don't know if y'all can hear that in the background. I got some sort of seagull or something making some noise here. But it's good. It's good to be able to have a little cash to work with some stuff, because we've got a 12-bay garage we've got a 12-bay garage at the Napa store. I know if you looked at the video, and we're going to try to make it a Napa service center. Napa is actually wanting me to do that, so we're going to try to do that and open up a Napa service center along with our Napa auto parts store. And the good thing for us is this has another big shop in the back, and because I already have and because I already have a big truck garage, we're going to move the truck garage down to the same location, and we're going to be a Napa auto service center for large trucks along with that. So we're going to be not only an automotive, but we're going to be a large truck service center too if we get everything established. So that's a good thing. That's a real good thing, and I hope we'll be able to. That'll be cool if we can do all that. If we can pull it all off, that's why you're seeing why I'm trying to sell a few items, so I can kind of have I never like to get too cash strapped. And I've learned early on that I've had businesses when I was younger and had zero money whatsoever almost, and you can really, really struggle like that. Now I should be able to have a little bit of cash, a little more cash flow, and cash flow is good because generally speaking, it flows away. And most rules, I would say, once people talk about cash flow, and I always think of, it's like the ocean. It kind of comes in and then it flows right back out. So that's kind of the scenario you get with cash flow, because it is very similar to the ocean. You might get it in a wave, but then it kind of rolls right back out. So that's the way cash flow is. It seems like, but we hope that we're doing the wisest thing by the moves that we're making. I want to not cripple any part of the business. And by retaining the trucks that I've got, I won't have to go out and purchase the type trucks that FedEx requires. So I'll be able to already have that. They're approved trucks. All I have to do is renumber and decal the trucks. And but the what it is, I mean, basically what it is, we have three corporations that are leased on to FedEx, and we're going to dissolve one of the corporations, and then we're going to increase the other two in this sale that we're doing. So we're going to narrow it down to two corporations that we own outright, and then we have a third one that we're partners in on that too. But we're going to increase our availability here in the Savannah, Georgia area, and hopefully that will parlay back into almost the same size that we were when we had our Greensboro, along with being able to free up some cash and just feel like we're making the right move. It was time. Having three locations was tough at times. I mean, we sort of stretch our people that way. This way, I can concentrate on building the Savannah as large as we've got our Charlotte operation, and we won't worry about the basically the Greensboro sort of was a side, I guess you'd call it a side job or a side area of the Charlotte anyway. We used it, and all my guys up there in the Charlotte area that worked for me worked on the Greensboro trucks too. As they came through, we used to have to meet the drivers en route, and we actually are doing one of those things today. I mean, I've preliminarily we've sold something. I got my mechanic today. He had a bolt that came loose on the air compressor that was leaking. We got it somewhat fixed in Greensboro, good enough to get down to Hickory, which is en route, going to his route in Knoxville, Tennessee. So my mechanic met him and at the truck stop fixed it and sent him on his way. And, we've done those type scenarios for years. And now we can kind of not have to worry about concentrating on those en route repairs as much. And we'll concentrate on the routes in Charlotte and the routes here in Savannah. And we may even put a shop down here in Savannah. We don't know. We're contemplating things like that too. So maybe I can give me another Napa store. I don't know. Give me a Napa store in the Savannah area or something like that, and build a shop with that one also. I mean, those possibilities are always there. I mean, I kind of joke about it, but that wouldn't be a bad scenario either if something like that were to come up. But that's on down the line. I enjoy having the challenges, and I enjoy thinking ahead and thinking the outside possibilities of what we may or may not be able to do. So, that's the way it is, and hopefully everything will be going to be doing pretty good. Big Daddy, if you're still on here, what you been up to lately? I hadn't been able to keep up with you. I've been so busy myself, and I hadn't been able to keep up with what's going on in your life. If you're still on, just tell me what you're doing, so we can kind of discuss what you're doing along with what I'm doing. I hate to just tell everything just what I'm doing, but that's the way it gets sometimes on the chats. But I just have a few, looks like that are even online here, so not as busy of a chat room today. Maybe guys will jump in here if they see it, but it's a beautiful Saturday morning, so I as far as tools, I need to review some of my tools that I've gotten lately. I've got a new 12 volt Milwaukee rivet gun that I really like. I need to review some of those, and uh, I'm really getting heavy into Milwaukee tools. My son and I both are really liking Milwaukee. I think they are tops right now when it comes to power tools, as far as uh, your handheld battery operated tools. I mean, they have got like their tools. I'll tell you that. It's when you look at that new fuel system, what they're able to do with 18-volt tools. Uh, yeah, we got a lot of tools. I've I've been able to obtain a lot over the past 40 some odd years, and I, I'm I'm fortunate in that respect. We've been heavy, and as far as hand tools, I used to be heavy into. Well, I still have a lot of DeWalt. I have DeWalt grease guns. I have all the DeWalt uh, drivers. I've got a ton of DeWalt 20-volt tools. I'm trying to convert most. I've got some. I still have some 18 volts we use too. I mean, basically the 20-volt tool, as most people know, is the same as the 18, except for the fact that once you put a 20-volt DeWalt tool in there and you hit it once, twice, you're at 18 volts basically, uh, usable power. And they even got that converter, that you can get the 18-volt tools, and we've had some of those, and use the power pack and everything from the 20-volt. Uh, I can't really see a difference of anything other than it makes a big bulky tool when you do that. But we've done that, and that way it keeps you from having to. Yeah, I tell you what, the Milwaukee, like I said, the Milwaukee tools are just fantastic. I think. I mean, you've got some of the specialized. You got some of the specialized cable cutting and all kind of plumbing tools and everything else that all the carpentry tools. That I mean, when you look at the new uh, table saw they have, and when you look at just especially even like that 3/4 inch driver, impact driver. I mean, I haven't gotten one. I've got the 1/2 inch. I don't have the 3/4. I'm gonna have to get that 3/4 so we can, it's 1,500 foot-pounds of torque. My son, who is a electrical, yeah, come out here, Steve. Come out here, son. Um, my son is out
It's
here.
Mike Jones live.
Yeah, this is Mike Jones live. Here's my crazy son, or mini me.
Yeah.
Here's my son. I was just talking about you. Steve is an electrical engineer with ABB, which is.
But I'm on vacation this week.
But you're on vacation, so you don't want to be on YouTube. Or you can be on YouTube for a second. Yeah, I've got a lot of those Husky toolboxes. They're very adequate. I mean, I know a lot of the tool guys love their toolboxes, and I like them too. Don't get me wrong. I have a couple of Snap-on boxes, and they're really good. But I just can't see putting $25,000-$30,000 just in a toolbox itself. I've been able to, because of the way that we our purchasing power with everything. I use my American Express a good bit through the business, and I get points and everything. A lot of points. I mean, a lot of points. And at the end of the year, we'll take those points and go out and buy tools and purchases and everything. So we've been able to kind of double dip there with the business, and take advantage of, instead of frequent flyer miles, which I don't do. I never fly. I convert those same points into Home Depot tools. That's what it amounts to. I've cashed in about $1,500 worth just the other day. So I'm going to take that $1,500 and at Home Depot, and I've got a lot of building material I need to get. We got some insulation and some peg boards and a lot of other things that we're going to be buying at Home Depot with those coupons, basically, because of tire purchases. A lot of it is we pay our Goodyear bill through American Express, and then in turn pay our American Express. And my Goodyear bill is usually upwards $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. So you can see how my purchases. Yeah, you can get 30 Huskies for one Snap-on. I know it, and that's basically what I've done over the years. I've been able to get those Husky boxes, and they're adequate. They're really adequate. I've gotten that. I've even got a couple of Harbor Freight boxes too, and I've bought some Snap-on boxes at auctions, and I bought out one friend of mine that. He retired as a mechanic a couple of years ago, and I bought all of his tools, including one, I guess you'd call it a Snap-on Classic box. And I got that box and all of his tools and everything at a reduced rate, of course. I mean, he needed somebody to buy it, and I paid him a substantial amount of money for all of his tools, but he had a lot of specialized tools, some that he had even invented, which I thought was pretty good. So auctions, and then I pick up things here and there that are good tools. I like Snap-on. I like Mac, Cornwell, Husky. I like Husky tools. They seem to be fine too on the general consensus of things too. Now, you can tell, those 72-inch Harbor Freight boxes, it's a box. It's sheet metal. It's just a drawer. Maybe my drawer doesn't pull out as smooth as an action and everything. I can live with that. I'm not going to go ballistic if my drawer does not have as much ball bearing or does not have as much internal sheet metal as another one. As long as I can, granted, I can understand the quality of Snap-on, but I think Snap-on as a box is way overpriced for what you actually need the box for. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I mean, some guys, I'd love to have a Mr. Big box and everything else. I'd love to have one, but can I pay that kind of money for that kind of box and justify it? I really can't. I'd much rather have a Harbor Freight toolbox full of Snap-on tools. If you get my drift, the Snap-on tools make way more sense, even though they're overpriced too in some cases. But their tools make way more logic to get them as opposed to the toolboxes. The toolboxes are just, it's just a box. I mean, I have actually built boxes over the years. We've modified. I've built some out of wood. You can build a nice wooden toolbox if you got carpentry skills, and I got a decent amount of carpentry skills myself. And hopefully, as you'll see more of the videos I'm doing with the remodel and everything. But I just can't justify the amount of money that people are putting on those boxes just to say they have a Snap-on box. It's a classic case of peer pressure, I think, and I just can't. I'm old school. I just can't put that together. Yeah, it's like having a Harley and compared to a Honda, but they both get you to point. But yeah, exactly right. If you want to ride a motorcycle point A to B, and you can still get there. And yeah, Hondas are way cheaper. Although I'm not going to get this old body on any kind of motorcycle. I've seen a lot of horrific wrecks out there on the interstate. Saw one just the other day where somebody lost it on a motorcycle, and I think they were riding a Harley. And it's tough. It's really tough out there to see some of these accidents. There was an accident last night. I got tied up on I-77 last night. About probably about 30 or 40 minutes. I got delayed because somebody, I don't know if they fell asleep or what, but they rolled one right on the main drag on I-77. They had to get a roll back there and stop all the traffic going south. And I was able to sit there. I wish I'd known it was going to take as long as it was. I would have flipped on my brakes and took a nap for 30 minutes, but you never know. It's kind of hard to take a nap when I guess I could have waited till they started blowing their horns to send me on my way. But that's the way it goes. Well, guys, I'm going to get off here again. I've enjoyed chatting this morning. Nice chatting with you, Big Daddy. And maybe I can see some of the other guys. I might get back on here. I've got good Wi-Fi. I hope my signal's good. Hope my picture's good down here. I've got great Wi-Fi down here at the beach. And I paid for some extra Wi-Fi down here with Hargrave, so I can get a good signal. So you might see me back out here on the back deck again, and going live or whatever. And okay, great. Well, I'm glad. I hope it's good and stable and everything. And maybe I can catch you out here again. I might just get out here and chat again while I'm down here at the beach, if my wife will let me. Well, you take care. I'll catch y'all guys later. We'll see you.